So that's 1C. A second C is context, and my favourite image for this is a single picture. I think I know its source, which I'm going to quote to you at the end of the 3 C's. So the context is, or the example of this is, someone is sitting in a chair, their legs are crossed. Again, if you want me to make more videos where I'm seated and so on, tell me and I'll make them for you. But someone's seated, they've got their legs crossed away from the person that's facing them. They're all hunched up, their arms are crossed, they're frowning, their head is sunken into their shoulders and they're collapsed onto their legs, and it's snowing. So the point is that the context is one whereby it's really cold. And therefore quite often, of course, I'm sure you know this too, when you're quite cold, you tend to close up, maybe go into a fetal position to contain your heat. Likewise, in very hot climates or hot spaces, hot rooms, you tend to do the opposite. You tend to open up a bit more, or maybe a lot more, because you're wanting to expend heat rather than contain it. This is why, therefore, sometimes people are accused of being lazy, and or too informal, and it's not actually that at all. It's just extremely hot, you know. So what's the context? Congruence. This is my personal favourite, the 3rd C, or one of the 3 C's rather. And put simply, is what they're saying congruent with their body language, you know? So for example, you might say to me, Kurt, do you agree with this idea? And I might say, yeah, I think it's a really good idea, yeah. And you might deem that my body language is congruent with my words and therefore think, oh good, yeah, Kurt's in on this, he likes the idea. Where it can get very interesting, of course, is incongruence. And a classic example in the workplace is what I call sulking. You know, so let's say that you're a manager, you manage me and 5 other people. And we're sitting around a table having a meeting, and then at one point you say, okay everyone, are we all happy with that proposition? And all the other people around the table look at you and say, yeah, sounds good to me. And I, maybe with a cluster, am sulking, you know, and you've been aware of it, and you've been aware of the fact that I also haven't looked at you at all since the start of the meeting, yeah? And so you decide to connect with me on that, and you say, and Kurt, are you happy with that proposition? And I might say, yeah, that's great, it's a great idea. And you think, okay, yeah, that's incongruent. He's saying yes, his body or his cluster is screaming no. So congruence and incongruence, personally I find particularly interesting. Something to add to this, of course, is, you could call this the 4th C, is culture. And of course, culture can really change the meaning of certain movements and how they're interpreted or received by the other party. A simple example is that in some countries, this means yes and this means no. Yeah. So there we go. Just a short video on the 3 C's of body language. I'm often asked if I can recommend a good book, and I've been recommending this particular book for about 18 years, to be honest. I think I shifted a few hundred copies of this title. I don't make any money from it at all. That's not why I do it. It's because it seems that even now it's still a very, very highly regarded book. It's got a confident title. It's called The Definitive Book of Body Language. Alan and Barbara Pease. That's Alan with 2 L's and Pease as in P-E-A-S-E. If I remember correctly, a married couple, an Australian couple, who are very highly regarded in this sphere. I think it's something like £7.99. Really good value book as far as I'm concerned. It covers all the body parts and it includes pictures, photos, cartoon representations as well as pictures of real people. It has some really great, fascinating cultural studies. For example, how do people interact in Paris versus London versus, say, New York or Tokyo? You know, is the body language the same or not? It's a fantastic reference guide on body language. So if I could only recommend one, I would recommend starting there. I don't think you can go too wrong with that book. And that's it. Again, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. And to repeat, if you want me to go into any more detail on body language, do let me know and I will very happily make you a video as quickly as I can. Thanks a lot and see you on the next video.